So we had IFA 2008 with Jayesh,
Yep.
The creator of DivX. So can you just tell us a little bit how did it started, like in 1999, right?
Yes, DivX started in 1999. I was working in a video production environment as a freelance editor doing special effects. And I had a need at the time to be able to share some of my work and in-progress work with customers and clients and to be able to have a portfolio. So I kind of modified a codec from Microsoft and share it with a couple of friends online. And that's how DivX really started. Then you have the viral effect on the internet. And from 2 guys, it goes to 10, to 1,000, and pretty quickly to millions. So that's the genesis of DivX.
So before that, people were watching crappy videos and real video and stuff like...
Well, that was the time where video on the internet was a stamp size reel that was really looking like nothing. So really DivX at the time provided a huge quantum leap in terms of video quality, and so from one day to another, then full resolution, full frame rate video was becoming possible. Then after, during the year 2000, we incorporated DivX, the company, in order to take this into a real product, consumer electronic, and really to move DivX to the next step, the way you know it today, where we are present, we have software, we have partnership with hardware manufacturer, we can find DVD players, set-top box, portable media player, it's in a PlayStation 3. So now DivX is everywhere. It's a very widespread video format and technology.
And it's a brand. You see that on players, like how many?
We ship more than 100 million certified DVD players and other product category. So yes, DivX nowadays is a pure, I mean not a pure, but it's a very strong consumer electronic brand, and you'll find that again from cell phone to DVD player to portable media player to digital still camera. And you even find that also on software side, where a lot of video encoding software, video processing software will support DivX natively out of the box.
So thanks to your work, now you make sure that videos work on all these devices, like that you have this certification thing?
Exactly, so this is the purpose of the DivX certification. So when you see a DivX logo on a device, we make sure that it's going to work. We have personally tested that device. Every device, not every single, but every SKU that get out is being tested for compatibility with a large variation of encoding, parameters, file size, resolution, bitrate, etc.
Yeah. So the DivX certification doesn't only include the DivX codec, right? It includes a lot of stuff.
DivX certification is based on making sure that you have great experience when you have DivX file, which means testing for video quality, audio sync, and make sure that it does support a large variation of parameters for the encoding parameters.
But I mean, it also includes, like, for example, MPEG-1 and other stuff, right?
No. For DivX certification, we'll be looking at DivX codec with MP3 audio or AAC audio. That's basically the boundaries of the certification. We are not going to test MPEG-1, MPEG-2.
And when there's a DivX certification, it means that XVID is part of it as well, of course.
Yes, I mean, XVID, DivX, this is like a mirror image. This is the same, based on the same code. Historically, we start developing DivX as an open source project, and at some point, being a company, we have need for monetizing that. So we move into a paid model, and that's where the XVID guy took our code and keep carrying the torch, the open source torch. So then from that source code, for the source tree, you have 2 branches. You have the DivX branch and the XVID branch. And we worked with the XVID guy very closely across the years to make sure that it is interoperable and that the file that can be encoded by DivX or XVID can be played back by XVID or DivX.
So the default setting is always going to try and make sure that it's going to work. Like
exactly.
Open source.
Exactly. So even XVID do support the DivX profile. So it's very easy to encode a file that will be played back in consumer electronic device.
And now most of the files that you find out there, thanks to this certification process, they all will work.
They all work, exactly. There will be very little question to be very little.
Only when people like they don't know what they're doing and they click all the buttons and they don't.
So if you use DivX, it's very hard to mess up. In the free version of the codec, for instance, the only setting is a slider that will move the quality performance bar from super fast, relatively low quality, to slower, very high quality. So, and every file, every setting in between will be indeed compatible with our consumer electronic profiles.
All right, so now you're also moving into HD, into DivX 7, into set-top box, Xbox, PlayStation, and a lot of things. What's going on?
So one of the very strong area of development for DivX since a long time is to expand what we call the ecosystem. The ecosystem is all the places you can create, consume video. So we have the codec, we have partnership with a software company to carry the DivX encoder in their product, but also a lot of consumer electronic device. So again, DVD player, set-top box, portable media player, gaming console, digital phone, mobile phone, and I'm pretty sure I forget a couple, DMAs. So all those products do support the DivX technology and are all interoperable with each other. And that's really what DivX, the company, brings to the table, is that make sure that as a user, when you encode a DivX file, you can really enjoy it in every aspect of your life.
And some people might say in the forums that H.264 is important, but now DivX is also doing that, right?
Yes, I mean,
when are you doing that?
Yeah, we are moving to H.264 with DivX 7 that will be based on H.264 technology with an MKV file format. And it's a matter of market readiness. For us, what's important is to be able to provide this functionality into the living room, into people's lifestyle, not only on the computer. And at a price that people can afford. Today, a DivX certified DVD player is not more expensive than a non-certified DVD player. And that's very important to be able to reach a price point that consumer can afford. And that's just happening these days, where the chips that can support those kind of video technology are the price that people can actually afford. If you were trying to buy a Blu-ray player last year, it was a month's salary. It was kind of ridiculous. So now it's getting to a point where it is affordable. So it's a good time for us to move into that next generation. So DivX 7 will be based again on H.264 technology with MKV file format. And so we're very excited about that.
Yeah.
So our partnership with Main Concept really allow us to get access to the top quality H.264 encoder, widely regarded by the industry and academics to be like the best in the industry. So we're very happy about that.
So the MKV container is the one to use because AVI is a limit of 4 gigabytes. Is that something to do?
A lot of problem with AVIs. I mean, it's a very old technology. It's based on a RIF file format existing since the Amiga days. So it's really stretching. And there is some technical difficulties that will make it completely impossible to use with H.264. For instance, multiple reference frame, very long GOP size, or multiple B frames. Those are really impossible to do in AVI file format. So rather than trying to, how can I say, to put a round peg in a square hole, we decided to go and to do a clean start, and MKV seems to be the best solution because MKV is very flexible, very lightweight, very easy to use, very easy to extend upon, yet already widely adopted by the community. So MKV seems like a no-brainer to us.
So did you announce DivX 7? I mean, when is that?
DivX 7 has not been, is not officially out yet. Right now we have a beta on DivX Labs, divxlabs.com, where you can find a beta version of the DirectShow decoder, which is the fastest decoder in the world right now, really beating QuickTime and other like there is no tomorrow. And we have also a beta version of the encoder that we just released last week, which is right now just a command line encoder, but we will evolve it in upcoming weeks and months in our path toward DivX 7. So it's closed beta right now, but we'll open the beta as we move forward.
Then you just put the file in and it comes out MKV with DivX 7?
That will be the use case, yes.
Yeah. And does that mean that you might have HD camcorders recording in DivX 7 or?
Hopefully, yes.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's absolutely possible. We need to find. We need to have access to chips that can do that at a relatively high quality ratio. But clearly, that's the direction that is going. Yes.
So did you say that your decoder is better than all the other ones? That means a slow computer can play back HD videos and H.264 better than with yours?
Exactly. So this is very important because everyone decodes. Very few people encode, but everyone decode. And if you want to really bring a value to the table, really decoding speed and decoding efficiency is really important. I mean, today everyone has experienced huge slowdown, for instance, when you watch H.264 video in Flash, where the whole browser, the whole computer go to a halt because it's extremely heavy on the CPU. Our decoder is much better architecture, it's much more efficient, so we can extract more frames per second out of the same CPU, or you can have a very good experience on a lower CPU.
So for example, on a netbook, you can install DivX 7 and it will play all the HD files.
I don't know how fast is a netbook, but there may be basically the use of the DivX and DivX filter really reduce the minimum requirement for full motion playback and HD playback. Yes.
All right. So DivX Connected, what's going on with that?
DivX Connected is a platform, a set of technology that we developed that allows to bridge the gap between the PC, the content on the PC, the content on the internet, and the television. Again, high quality video wants to be experienced in the living room. That's why people have big screen TV, that's why people have 4.1 audio, that's why people want to see that content. And today it's a bit of a challenge. Even with DivX certified DVD player, you still have to burn a DVD to physically walk it to your living room. DivX Connected, today the first product on the market is the DivX DSM-330. But tomorrow, the idea is to take this set of technology and put it into a device category that have network connection, like Blu-ray player, like gaming console, but also directly and ultimately inside the television themselves. It's a very thin stack, doesn't cost a lot of money to add, and it allowed to bring your internet content and your local content into your television. It's an open platform. We have a available SDK that you can download for free from DivX Labs, where web developers can bring their own services, their own plugin, their own functionality to the box. So it's very
a remote like this.
Yes, and it's all driven with a normal remote. So no need for a keyboard, no need for a clunky Microsoft-like, keyboard and mouse in your couch.
So with this remote, you can actually go on Google Maps and...
We can do a lot of things.
Yeah. So there it's... I mean, we don't need to do exactly right now if you want, but...
Yeah, that will be a bit clunky.
Do you have anything to announce about the new... What did you announce here at IFA? Like
here at IFA, we announced a couple of things. We announced our first set-top box for the European market made by Vestel. So, so set-top box, so you can do like side loading, basically put a USB key in there. We announced... sorry, I did my a 720p red laser DVD by LG, so relatively low cost, very high, very nice design that can do HD out of a normal DVD. GVC that launched their first Blu-ray player that does support DivX, and working with our friend from Main Concept. To support DivX in their professional encoding application called Reference. So DivX support in the professional encoding application is very important for us because it enables our partner from the content creation side to really automate DivX encoding using a workflow that they already use and they are already familiar with. And Concept Reference application is used for broadcast, for Blu-ray authoring and stuff like this. So a lot of people in Hollywood actually are using this application. So being in there is very important for us.
And is it based on Linux or?
They have Mac and PC version of this application, yes.
All right. You're not using Linux to encode the...
We do have server-side encoding stuff for some of our partners. This is not a public product, but we do have some Linux codec and things like this. But usually the Linux crowd found their way and can play back and encode without any.
Because Toshiba, they just released this thing that Engadget people in the comments they say, what are they doing, Toshiba? Because they lose this HD DVD Blu-ray thing, and now they released the DVD player with upscaling, DivX support. But the DivX support is not HD, that's too bad. I mean, it'd be really nice.
So that will depend on the chip they use in the box. And most of the upscaling DVD player is just a normal